The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views of ECTV News, the City of East Chicago, nor this broadcast station or website. ECTV airs public meetings as a service to the community it serves. Speakers at public meetings, broadcast, or posted by ECTV News are solely responsible for their comments. ECTV News reserves the right to edit or remove any profanity or abusive language or behavior deemed inappropriate for our viewing audience. If you have any comments or suggestions about this program, contact ECTV News at 219-391-8206.
I think he goes home for a nap every day for 3 hours. Okay, have to figure this out as we go along. Everybody ready? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start the meeting. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works for June 25th, 2014. Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Present.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Present.
Carla Morgan.
Present.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have the minutes. We have the regular minutes from the meeting of May 28th, 2014. Can I entertain a motion that we approve as written?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next we have our special minutes from the special meeting of April 15th. Can I entertain a motion we approve these minutes as written?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
And finally, we have the minutes of special meeting of June 5th, 2014. Can I have a motion that we approve as written?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, with correspondence, we have no correspondence. We'll move on to new business. First thing on our agenda is bid opening for topsoil placement, finishing grade and grass seeding at 28 properties. We have,
I'm gonna open those.
okay, how many do we have?
We have two. One is from Acting, 1102 East Columbus Drive, Chicago. Okay, this is the base bid group number 1. This is the base bid using pulverized black dirt. The total is $25,200. Group number 2, $18,000. Group number 3, $18,000. Group number 4, $20,600. Group number 5, $18,000. This is for sod. Group number 1, $18,690. Group number 2, $13,000, $350. Group number 3, $13,000, $350. Group number 4, $16,000, $20. Group number 5, $13,350. This is hydro seed. Group number 1, $2,100. Group number 2, $1,500. Group number 3, $1,500. Group number 4, $1,800. Group number 5, $1,500. The seed Group number 1, 1,400. Group number 2, $1,000. Group 3, $1,000. Group 4, $1,200. Group number 5, $1,000. Blanket, $4,116. Group number 1. Group number 2, $2,940. Group number 3, $2,940. Group number 4, $3,528. Group number 5, $2,940. This was a price for the seating, alternates, hydro seating, seat blanket, and such. That's from Acting. Second bid has no name on it.
No name on it?
No. The envelope has no name on it. The bidder company name is Bob's Affordable Services. Is it services here?
I think that's services.
Okay, attachment 8. Group number 1, 25,000. Group number 2, 35,000. Group number 3, 25,000. Group number 4, 35,000. And group number 5, $30,000. SOT, alternate. They didn't bid an alternate, so I think they only bid on base bid, which is grass seating. Yeah. So that concludes the opening for the topsoil and subsoil placement, finishing, grading, and grass seeding for 28 property, total 5 groups.
Who's supposed to review this and give us a recommendation?
Between engineering and building department. Yeah. So
Okay, so
the
you
next
wanna-
meeting we'll have a recommendation.
Okay, so our next regular meeting, which is on July 9th, you'll have a recommendation?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next on agenda, we have bid opening for demolition of vacant properties, Phase 2.
We received 5 bids.
5 bids.
Yeah. First bid, it's from Spirit Raking and Excavation. Address
That's fair.
Spirit Raking and Excavation Incorporated. They're from Chicago, Illinois. Address 10 East Garfield Boulevard, Chicago, Illinois, 60615. Group number 1, bid price $194,676. They didn't bid on group number 2. They didn't bid group number 3. They didn't bid group number 4. 5, 6. They submitted bids for the group number 7. The total amount of $155,324.
So we just bid on 1 and 7?
Yes.
That's all?
Next bid is from Acting Incorporated, 1102 East Columbus Drive, East Chicago. Group number 1, 127,164. Group number 2, $158,675. Group number 3, $121,300. Group number 4, $112,640. Group number 5, $648,500. Group number 6, $155,980. And group number 7, $88,460.
What was group 7? 88? Okay,
Next bid is from JM Industrial Services, 201 Marble Street, Hammond, Indiana, 46327. Group number 1, $83,966. Group number 2, $102,684. Group number 3, $97,917. Group number 4, $88,615. Group number 5, $820,000. Group number 6, $75,906. And group number 7, $48,707. Next bid is from Hennigan Wrecking Company, 1321 West Concord Place, Chicago, Illinois, 60622. They only submit bid for group number 5. Total amount is $738,000. Next bid is from RSR Demolition LLC, 1370 Joliet Street, Dyer, Indiana, 46311. Group number 1, $86,900. Group number 2, $116,300. Group number 3, $95,650. Group number 4, $76,450. They didn't submit bid. Group number 5, 6, and 7. That concludes the bid opening. Engineering and building department are going to review it.
Okay, so,
Recommendation on next regular meeting.
okay, so next meeting, Building Department, Engineer Department will review the bids to make sure everything's proper, and you'll give us your recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, once again, recommendations will be on the next meeting, which will be Wednesday, July 9th, 2014. Okay, moving on. We have from the Police Department, Lamar Company contract. Do we have anybody from the Police Department here? You guys?
Steve Segura from Multimedia. Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. It's my first time. Basically, I sat with the mayor and the chief of police, and the chief of police wanted to add some billboards to his public awareness effort. So they asked me to kind of just handle the whole project, and the billboards, it'll be 2 billboards that we will be having run for about approximately, I think, 6 weeks. Is that what it says? I didn't know I wasn't supposed to sign the contract, so that's why it's before you.
Has term 2 to 4 week cycles. Is that right?
Yeah, depending on the later it takes the availability now. So the longer we take, we may lose a billboard.
Okay, so it has here 1,200 for each period. So a total of 2,400, is that?
I think it's, wasn't it like 3?
Would you like to look at this?
Yeah, let me see it real quick, because I didn't. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's correct.
So I was reading that right, so it's for 2 periods, 1,200 each? So for a total of 2,400?
There's a total of 3 billboards, so they're all 3 are on there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's what it is.
Okay, so there are 3 locations.
400 each.
Each billboard is 400 each, so that's 1,200 when they run simultaneously, and they'll run roughly July 21st through August 17th, and then again August 18th through September 14th.
Right.
Is that okay?
Okay, any other questions or comments on?
I was wondering what type of message you're gonna put on the.
We did the same campaign, basically on our buses, which was one saying that we've reduced crime, so the residents are aware that, you know, we've had a reduction in crime recently, and the other one is about the stop team, that we've had over 10,600 stops compared to our 3,000 that we used to have.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
There being no other questions or comments, I entertain a motion for the approval of the Lamar Company's contract with the Police Department for the amount of $2,400 for billboards.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez,
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda, we have, again, with the Police Department, Verizon contract.
Hello, Sergeant Almadina, Police Department.
Can you give us a little background on this one?
The Verizon is just something they do every 2 years to renew our agreement with them. It's not an obligation to anything. We still have the right to cancel service anytime we feel necessary. They're going to upgrade our air cards. So they looked in their files and they realized our agreement was not up to date. So that's why they're requesting we have that signed.
And so the total for this is,
Uh,
you have a monthly,
No, it's not going to upgrade. They're not charging us anything. They just want an updated agreement signed. They're going to give us
it's the same what we're paying right now then?
Yes, sir. No additional costs.
So the monthly charge is $1,500, and that includes all 50 air cards?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And then the total access fee for 50 lines, it says $19,500. Is your understanding that's annually? is that the total yearly fee, or?
Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
No, I
We're
don't.
just updating.
Yes.
Okay. There being no other questions or comments, entertain a motion that we approve the police department's updated agreement with Verizon.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Hold on, I think you're next too, isn't it? Okay, next we have with the police department again, Comcast Business Service Agreement. And can you give us a little background what this one is for?
That will be for service at our trailer on Bering. We tried to get that going when we first moved the trailer. I don't know if you recall the problem we had with NIPSCO.
Right.
They just took way too long for us to reestablish, and it actually worked to our benefit because I think some of you may have met with Comcast, so it's actually gone down in price for us now. It's to give our officers at the trailer the ability to connect to Spillman and ShotSpotter. It's just a basic internet line to the trailer.
Okay, so this is trying to catch the price here, $69.95. Then there's an equipment fee of $9.95. Then under internet options, you have a static IP -1 for $14.95. Are these monthly costs?
Yes.
So the second page, the total monthly bill would be $94.85.
Yes, sir.
And we do have installation charge of $49. So it'd be $94.85 plus installation cost of $49. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I do, and I hope you remember this better than me, but it says business service order agreement. We get the GSA pricing from Verizon and other things. Is there a difference in the way they bill us? Because I remember there being an issue with us being billed and something falling into an arrearage because on the government account, they send a bill on the first of the month.
They understand
It's
this is a
gonna take us-
governmental unit and,
There was a special rep that worked with us on that, and they understand. They say they still use the same form, it says business. There isn't one that says government.
Okay.
But they understand now that, that was why I never submitted that again, till all that, the issue was taken care of. I believe Kevin Klosick and
Okay.
a few others met with
If
him.
you could get the rep to email you or send you a letter or something, put it in the file, just acknowledging that they understand, city can't pay late fees and penalties.
Sure.
Because we're a government entity, just so they acknowledge that up front, and then you don't have a headache later
Sure.
with, okay.
okay.
That's all.
Any
And
other
again, I just had vague details.
It was a
of
nightmare.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
No, no question.
There being no questions or comments, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the business service agreement with Comcast and the police department for the monthly amount of $94.85 plus the installation charges of $49.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have emergency purchase of new bunker gear from the fire department. We have a letter from the fire department. Is there anybody from the fire department here? Wait, there he is.
Good evening, everyone,
Hello.
members of the board.
So you're requesting to approve emergency purchase of bunker gear at the cost of $148,546?
That's correct, Mr. President.
And according to the letter, the fire department was waiting, they were expecting to acquire a grant, but that didn't fall through.
Well, we're still in the waiting stages of that grant. We haven't been denied the grant, But we have to move forward in our assessment of the safety as it relates to the men online. We feel we've put it off long enough, and we have to move forward with the purchase of the bunker gear, everything from helmet to boots, bunker gear, gloves, Nomaxes, that type of thing. It is our desire that if we are awarded the grant, that we would purchase an additional set. That is recommended because of the use of the bunker gear has a life expectancy. It's actually a recommended life expectancy of 10 years. So if we have 2 sets, with the guys having to wash and wear and, after an incident having to dry it out, that would facilitate, possibly the longevity of that bunker gear. So we have to move forward with this as a matter of safety. And we've acquired 3 bids, and we're recommending the Hoosier to go with the Globe product.
Okay. Are there any questions and comments? This funding has been approved out of gaming, then?
Yes, we're actually asking for it to be approved by you from gaming. That's correct.
Okay. What I was getting at, I'm sure the fire chief has been in discussions with Mr. Bennett?
With Mr. Bennett, yes. It's my understanding that he has had extensive conversations on this, and it's gotten to the point where we have the direction to be here before you today.
Okay. So he must have allocated that amount.
That is my understanding.
Okay, we're going to check anyway, but,
You could, if you feel free to check. but-
Yeah, and it'd be helpful if we had a resolution authorizing, you don't do legal.
I do not do
You
legal.
don't write up but hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have a resolution that authorizes that money to come out of gaming. Well, we'll work internally. I didn't know about this either, so,
Very well.
but we'll make sure we get that done.
How would that affect?
Me and the other, it won't affect you. We can move forward and approve it, but then we should circle back at the next meeting. We might ask you to come again,
Okay.
just to explain. And so anyway, it's just good.
No, that'll be fine. I understand the formal part of that. So, okay, very well.
this one has to go to the council
I'm not sure, because I'm not sure which,
fund.
there's different pots of gaming money. If it's gaming contractual, we don't have to go to the council, but if it's the other gaming that has to be appropriated, then we do.
Okay, well, we'll find out. All right.
Okay, so,
I didn't have any other questions.
No, me neither.
any other questions?
But if you want to start doing work for the legal department, like I got a spot for you.
So we still have to make a motion to approve this. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
No.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve the emergency purchase of new bunker gear for the fire department in the amount of, where is that again? $148,546.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay.
On behalf of the fire department, thank you very much.
Okay.
Welcome.
Don't go away. Come back.
There's another item, Virginia, for you.
Okay, we have appropriation of gaming monies for painting of 4 fire stations. Do we have any? Okay, here's a letter. Dear board members, I am requesting approval of appropriation of gaming monies for the following proposal: the painting of 4 fire stations. I reviewed the quotes and found a proposal submitted by Budget Maintenance and Construction to be the best and the lowest price at $22,500. The cost of our 4 station, the condition of our 4 stations is poor, and all of the station overhead doors need work. I have enclosed a copy of all proposals for your review. Thank you for your consideration. This amount, you could just have quotes.
Yeah.
Okay.
May I speak?
Yes, if you have any.
Yeah, we required the 3 recommended quotes. In our continued evaluation of our department, we started inside, of course, with the personnel, and now we're kind of going into the outside, and they are in very much need of some TLC, specifically station number 4. That one's going to require an entire makeover. The other stations are in a lot better shape, and there'll be some minimum painting and repairs. Again, we're requesting for this money to be coming out of gaming, and it is, again, my understanding that this conversation has been between the Fire Chief Perez and our controller, Mr. Bennett, or our advisor, Mr. Bennett. And so that brings us here again, asking for you to grant that so that we can move forward on the repairs.
Now, this includes all the prep work?
Includes everything that needs to be done, starting from the filling of the cracks, the power washing, and then, of course, the application of the paint, the quality paint. Sherwin-Williams is the paint of choice of this particular provider, but coincidentally, it was of the other two as well. So I guess that's real good paint for industrial applications. So, yeah, that includes everything.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
No.
Yeah.
There being no other questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve the appropriation of gaming monies in the amount of $22,500 for the paying of 4 of the fire department stations. With budget, maintenance, and construction.
That's correct.
I'll make the motion and then I have a comment, but, so moved. Before we vote, I wanted to say something.
Second.
Okay. I think we should do the motion and approve it, but I also would like to have this be a formal resolution for the gaming dollars for the next meeting, so we'll get that prepared.
Okay. Once again, this one has to go for the council?
Again, I have to know which pot they're pulling out of, and this is the
Okay.
first. So with that, I still believe we should approve this today so you can move forward. And we'll make sure we have all our ducks in a row at the next meeting.
Okay, I understand.
Okay. So, Jesse, you seconded?
Yes, I already second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
Once again, thank you, members of the board.
thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have the Munis Systems Maintenance and Support Agreement.
Good afternoon, Kevin Klosek, System Administrator, City of East Chicago. And what I have presented before you is our annual maintenance and licensing agreement for our Munis financial software bundle. It is broken up into 3 separate agreements. The first being the Munis software and support agreement. That's the heart and soul, I guess you could say, of the financial application. I know in the past, the question has always came up of if there's been an increase in maintenance costs and so forth, and this year has been consistent with years past where the increase was roughly 2%. It's like between 1% and 2% of the total cost. And the annual support agreement, support and license agreement for the Munis software is $70,344.03. So with that, I ask your consideration for approval.
Any questions or comments?
Nope.
No.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve the annual Munis System Maintenance and Support Agreements for the amount of $70,344.03.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes.
Thank you. The second agreement was the OSDBA, or Operating System and Database Administration Support. Munis requires, it's a SQL-driven software, and they require that a certified Microsoft SQL engineer be in charge of basically maintaining that database. And from the outset, the city never really found it a wise investment to hire somebody. That position probably pays between $60,000 and $90,000 a year. So we just contracted Tyler Support to provide the OSDBA support. And I believe that annual support is $13,227.08. So I ask the board for your consideration of approval.
And this is what's the name of the company? that-
It's still with Munis, I'm sorry.
It's still in Munis?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments, questions or comments on this?
Nope.
There be no questions or comments, I entertain a motion for the annual agreement for operating system and database administration support with Munis for the amount of $13,227.08.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
And the final Munis agreement was for the disaster recovery agreement, which provides us with our daily backups and recovery options at Munis's location out east in, I believe it's in New Jersey. And as the old rule goes, you can never have enough backups of your data. This service primarily shows that if we were ever to lose for whatever reason our disaster or our Munis system locally, we would be able to via online access our financial system and perform daily financial duties up until the point that we're able to get back up and running here locally. That service is also the same amount of $13,227.08. I ask the board for your consideration of approval.
Now, I know this is Munis, and so Tyler is a subsidiary of Munis?
Tyler Munis is the correct. Originally, they were Munis, and Tyler was I guess, a branch of Munis, and they've merged. It's Tyler Munis. So both are, it's basically the same thing, Tyler Munis and Munis.
Okay.
Tyler Technologies, I'm sorry.
Any questions or comments?
Nope.
No? There being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the disaster recovery agreement with Munis for the amount of $13,227.08.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Next, we have the rate schedule for telecom communications.
Yes, we have currently Telecom Communications is providing a service for the city of doing engineering of running our running conduit throughout the city for completing our fiber loop. And our department has also been working with the engineering department on various road projects, of which, if they're doing total reconstruction, we're looking to also incorporate open conduit as part of those projects. And so we have about 4 projects now that we've requested conduit be laid. And within those, there were some questions that came up as to specifications and so forth. And so what I wanted to entertain was to be able to, on a time and material basis, to have telecom engineering provide us with the service of helping us or assisting us with those specifications so that they fall in line with the specifications that are being designed for the remainder of our fiber project, our fiber loop. Thus far, I've been able to question them a few things, and they've responded with answers and so forth. I may never, between myself and the engineering department, we may never have to use their services, but just in case, we wanted to have them come and sit down, say with one of the engineering companies on the road projects. I asked them to provide their rate schedule so that we would be able to anticipate invoicing accordingly. And so I'm asking the board to consider the approval of the rate schedule for telecom engineering services.
Okay, and any questions or comments?
Nope.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve the rate schedule with telecom communications. And should I read, I think I should read out the rates in it.
Yeah.
There are 4 categories for draftsman, $55 an hour, for field lookout, $55 an hour, field engineering, $65 an hour, and P consultant, $120 an hour. A motion to approve these rates with telecom engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call,
Val Gomez.
yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next we have, you were supposed to bring us a recommendation from our fiber network equipment purchase recommendation?
Yes, back on May 14th, I requested seal quotes for some networking equipment for our fiber network, and we had received 2, one from CDWG and one for Network Solutions. They were opened at the May 14th meeting, and I have reviewed them, and both of them, both packets submitted included everything that was requested. So based on that, I made a recommendation that the board approve the purchase of the equipment from Network Solutions, who was the lower of the 2 bids or quotes that were provided. I might note too that these were both companies are listed with the state of Indiana as a QPA. For Cisco equipment, they have about 12 vendors that are QPAs. So rather than just select one, I thought it would be better to entertain quotes from them to see if there was a difference. And as it did turn out, there was I would say a substantial difference, but close to $6,000 difference between the 2. So it was a worthwhile venture to entertain multiple quotes for that. So I'm asking the board to approve the recommendation of the purchase of the equipment from Network Solutions for $118,877,000.
Any questions or comments?
No, I didn't have any.
So Network Solutions is part of Cisco?
They are a authorized Cisco vendor
Okay.
to sell Cisco equipment.
Okay. There being no further questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve the recommendation from our IT department for the agreement with Network Solutions for the amount of $118,877.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call,
Val Gomez.
yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have the disaster recovery solution.
Yes, the final item on behalf of the IT department. About 15 years ago, the city put together its own disaster recovery backup solution. And recently, because of the changes in technology and the cost of storage and so forth, we entertained a few different proposals for backup solutions. And the proposal that appeared to be the most beneficial, both cost-wise as well as the storage space and what's available, is the solution that was provided by Lanair, which I have provided you with a copy of. I'm asking the board's consideration to approve, or consider approval of the management or the maintenance part of that, of the agreement, which is a one-year agreement. The cost of what is being provided is $1,398. Currently, we pay roughly over $1,000 for our monthly backup solution. The big difference in what we have here is our capacity of data has increased significantly, about 4 times the amount we currently have. But more so than that, we currently back up off-site at a location in Valparaiso, and part of that is a rotation of portable backup devices that we swap out every other week. This solution is going to provide us off-site to the West Coast at a data bank on the West Coast, which they replicate their backups. One location, I believe it's in Chicago, and then one location on the East Coast. So we're increasing the efficiency of storage, as well as having a location that is true to what is considered off-site, being, not only out of city or county, but out of the geographical region of the Midwest. So I'm asking the board to consider approval of the monthly, excuse me, one-year agreement for the monthly backup disaster recover pricing of $1,398 with Lanair. And by the way, Lanair is not our current provider. Our current provider is Golden Technologies out of Valparaiso.
Okay, and this other amount here for non-recurring fees total, $9,447?
Yes, the $8,748 is a one-time hardware cost to replace the on-site backup server that we currently have. And then the $699 one-time fee is the setup of the backup solution once we change over to this solution. And also the technology of the backups has changed significantly. Everything is pretty much image-based these days, which kind of takes up less storage, but our departments have been very effective and aggressive in storing a lot of digital photography and so forth now. So the extra storage that has been proposed within here would definitely be a plus, because our data storage is growing from each department with a lot of the archiving and digital photography that we've been storing as well.
So just to clarify what they're backing up, the Munis disaster recovery is for the Munis system, so all our financial records are backed up. This backs up everything else from like the Exchange server and all the shared drives and.
Yes, and Munis as well is also included here. But correct, the Munis disaster recovery is exclusively the SQL database for Munis that is daily there. This includes all of our performance or application servers, as well as, more importantly, our data servers, where everybody stores their information on the network, as well as with Munis being an application, it would be backed up once again through here.
Okay.
Yes.
This is for every department that's on the city network.
Yes. The only thing that's not backed up are PCs, and that's because we encourage everybody to store their data on the servers, and through the network, it's the servers that are actually backed up. So we try to let all of our users know to adhere to that. That way, if they lose a file, if a file is deleted or something, we've got a means of going back and recovering it. And one other thing I might note, I need to get with the law department, because at one point we were working on putting a retention policy together, and I don't think it was ever accomplished by the city, as far as how long we have to maintain data before we override or get rid of. And I did get a contact from the state to to work with what the state follows, but I think it would be a wise thing to do locally within the city to have our own retention policy in place that this would adhere to as well.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Okay, just so I get it straight then, there'll be a 1,398, that's, and then plus that, there's a 9,447.
Yes, the entire project would cost the total of both. The maintenance agreement, the one-year agreement, the recurring cost is the $1,398.
Okay, so for total, if I have my figures right, 10,805?
No, I think the 9,447, we pay that one time, but this $1,398 would be every month.
So we had the motion would say this would be the monthly fee and this would be the one time.
Yeah. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, there being no questions, I entertain a motion that we approve the disaster recovery agreement with Lanier Group for the one-time one-time non-recurring fee of $9,447, and the monthly managed backup pricing of $1,398. Did I get that correct?
I think so. So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Kevin.
Kevin. Okay, next on our agenda, we have basketball courts repair.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to just request that we opened up bids at that special meeting and awarded for basketball repairs. And as I went back on two of the parks, the square footage is actually less what one of the contractors bid on, and therefore that puts Roxanne and Sunnyside to go to Eagle Construction. So it's about $10,000, $11,000 difference minus, so we would pay less. So I'm requesting that the board remove the award that was given to Permaseal for Roxanne and Sunnyside to be given to Eagle Construction, and I have the amounts.
Did you get it in writing that they were adjusting the amount, or they bid per square foot? So just a matter of calculating?
It was just a matter of calculating.
Do you have any?
I don't think we have
Did you
any.
submit something here?
Did
No.
you?
Give me any report that for us for review?
No, I was told that we can do this without that.
You looking for paperwork?
No.
We don't have paperwork here?
Okay.
We ask, I know you're trying to get everything done quickly. We ask every meeting for you to go to engineering and see how they do it, or look at, like, say what Kevin just gave us was written recommendations for each thing he was recommending, so we knew where we were. So we'll do the best we can, but the board has got to have paperwork. Olga's got to get at least 48 hours in advance. Because the board, we can't operate blind.
Okay. Well, it is a discount. Like I said, we would be paying less for the work. It's just a matter of,
Let me just reiterate, and I'm not arguing with anybody, and the board can, of course, do what it wants. There's nothing new, the paperwork is the same. What the board did the last time was open the bids. I think there was a recess, the consultant went out to another room, made a tabulation, came back and made a report, and
He gave us a recommendation, and we approved the recommendation, so now,
what he's done now is, nothing's changed, and no papers, he just has retabulated. I think the tabulation was made hastily and erroneously, apparently. The contract, the board's action was conditional, just for the sake of discussion, upon execution of a contract with the persons recommended by the contractor. No contract has been made yet, so in the broad sense, the action of the board at the special meeting was conditional upon a contract. Now, I think what the consultant is telling you now, and there's no additional, no other events have occurred, there have been no other intervening events or any other paperwork generated. He's just saying that he's made, upon further examination of the documents that were examined and opened at the special meeting, he has different recommendations. And so there's not really anything changing other than a fresh, more considered look at the bid documents, recalculation of the square feet, and he just wants to make an amendment to the recommendation that he made the previous time. What I will, and I'm going to prepare some construction contracts for the be considered by the board at the next opportunity.
I want to add something. I remember last Friday, one of my suggestions was wait until this meeting. That way you'll have more time to review. And I was told that wasn't not an option. That's something that you want to make a recommendation. So one of my suggestions was, okay, what about you spend more time? I don't think 3 days is going to make a difference. So
Should have taken your vote.
you
That's
made a recommendation, and we're here today talking about the same item. So, yeah, I mean, 3 days, I don't think it's basically. So that's one of the reasons that I asked you, okay, do we have to do this today? And just for the future, just make sure that,
That's what we don't like to rush things, and we usually have to bring it to the next meeting.
And I
So
apologize.
we could avoid this type of circumstance. Okay, since I don't have the paperwork from last, which one did we recommend, based on your recommendation last time?
It was Permaseal, had Roxana and Sunnyside. And it's just,
and also for future recommendation, we always try to have at least a letter, you address to the president saying, I review this, here are the prices, I make recommendations, so that way we can keep that in record.
okay.
I think,
Well-
when I prepare some, I think there's going to be written, of course, there's going to be written contracts for all these components of the project. Some of them are significant dollar amounts. There's going to be a written contract with terms and conditions, typical for as had been done so far in the park improvement project. So, and there'll be resolutions corresponding to each agreement, and I'll prepare those and submit those for consideration of the Board of Works.
So you had recommended Permaseal for Roxana and Sunnyside before, now you want to change it to
Eagle Construction.
Eagle?
Construction.
And what's the amount?
What's the amount?
Roxana is $35,000. And Sunnyside is $11,656 with 80 cents.
And this is a savings of,
Those were the bids.
and this is-
Those were the bids that were open at the special meeting.
right, and this is a savings of 10,000 after you reviewed it,
Yes,
because the square footage was off?
yes.
So, since we made a motion approving Permaseal last time, we would have to make a motion negating the Permaseal, and then we have to make another motion approving this one,
Yeah, I
am I right?
believe that's the best way to go about it.
Okay. Just for the record, anytime we make a motion, and we did it based on your recommendation that we had, like Jesse said, that we had there was a time factor. If you're going to change it, we need something in writing at the meeting.
I will get that.
I'm still going to require an explanation in detail explaining all this,
Okay.
because we need it for the record.
Do you want that put attention to you?
It's to the board, and we'll read it into the record next meeting.
Okay.
Well, we really want to help you get it right. If you can go through our packet and you see, all the engineering stuff that
I can
comes
show
up,
you different letters.
it will be so much
So you
Okay.
can get
more
an
efficient
idea.
if you spend just an hour and you'll see how it's done. We're really trying to make it easier for everybody.
Okay.
Okay. So number one, I entertain a motion that we negate the recommendation from the city's consultant with Permaseal based on discrepancy on the square footage. In that recommendation, after further review, he found that we could actually save $7,000 if we change to the
About 10,000.
$10,000 if we change to the other. There was only 2 bids, if I understand, right?
There was in total 7
7, but these
for
were
seven different
bidders.
parks. But these are only 2 that
right. 2.
that
Two bidders,
switch.
yeah.
So are we doing
There
two
was two
separate
bidders.
motions?
We're going to make 2 separate motions. This is the one to negate the Eagle Construction.
No, Permaseal.
Permaseal, the one with Permaseal. So I entertain a motion that, well, let me make the motion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we negate the motion we made last meeting recommending Permaseal, based on a recommendation, further review of our consultant, which,
Second. So you made the
Roll call?
motion, I see.
okay, roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, now I'd like to make a motion that we, based on our consultant's recommendation, that after reviewing the figures, Eagle Construction has the best price, which is $10,000 less from what we recommended last meeting. So this motion is to approve Eagle Construction's amounts for, can you give us those amounts again? What do you-
Yes, Roxana, 35,000, and Sunnyside, 11,656 with 80 cents.
Okay, so with those figures, that's my motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, and just once again, we'll need that paperwork by the next meeting, so I can read it into the record.
I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have our compliance report for the Guthrie Street resurfacing project. I'm going to ask that the board accept this as written. The only thing I'd like to put into the record that the damages at this time amount to $58,750. This includes the $52,261 damages in the category of residency and $648.80 in the minority female damages. So that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we accept from our East Chicago Human Rights Commission this compliance report for the Guthrie Street resurfacing project.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have a vehicle equipment service policy agreement. I could speak on this. Every auto vendor with the city, what we do, we have a meeting, we put out a price list, and if a vendor agrees to these hourly prices, he can get on our rotation of auto repairs from the different departments in the city. And we have a new vendor who asked to be put on our rotation list. He has agreed to the price list. This is EC Auto Repair. And as he actually signed the form already as 6/13/14. And just to give you an example, we have set the prices on from vehicles, small trucks, heavy-duty trucks, snow plows, riding lawnmowers, and it ranges from $75 to $15 an hour for different services. It includes emergency call-outs and tire repair also. So this is just a form that the Controller's Office requests from many vendors with the cities as far as auto repair. Do you have any questions or comments on this? There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve the vehicle equipment service policy with EC Auto Repair.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have the hardest fund notice. This is part of our, the city recently was granted as part of the hardest hit fund blight elimination grant from the state. We were granted a grant in an amount of $1,300,000, I believe.
That's right.
I don't have the exact amount here, but the purpose of this business before us right now is part of this process, we have to set up a public hearing, and we have to advertise a public hearing for 3 days. And part of that is we have to have a time span of 30 to 45 days at which time at the end, we were supposed to have a public hearing and then a Board of Works meeting following. After having a meeting, we actually spoke with the state. They recommended that tomorrow on the 26th, we put in an ad, and I have all the particulars. Actually, they even gave us, they even wrote out the entire ad for us, and I'll talk to Olga after the meeting. And so tomorrow, we would put in an ad for 3 days announcing the public hearing to be on August 6th at 12 noon. Following the public hearing, which is supposed to last from noon to 1, we will have a Board of Works meeting, which if there are any other additional things we have to pass, we will do so. The reason we needed to have this set now, the state is actually going to send representatives, and they will be here on August 6th. But at this meeting, they required us to just announce the particulars for that meeting and putting the notice in the paper, the published notice of the public hearing. Are there any questions on, or comments on this?
No.
Okay, there being no further questions or comments, I would take a motion that we approve the published notice of a public hearing for August 6th. And not only we have a public hearing on August 6th, we also have a special meeting of the Board of Works following the public hearing. I have a motion approving this?
So move.
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Val Gomez,
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. Olga, I know we're probably running short on time, so tomorrow if you could come by, and I can go over with you
Sure.
about the public notice. I have all the instructions from the state here. Okay, next, we had Broadway Street reconstruction, construction inspection.
Yeah, I can explain that. This is the project that we awarded last week. Project this magnitude, we always, we don't have the personnel, so we need to hire a consultant to do the daily inspections. So this is a proposal to provide engineering services, construction observation services for the Broadway reconstruction project for a total amount of $68,000. It would be 64 plus another 4 for testing sub-consultant geotechnical services. And this is from Garcia Consulting. And is there any question?
I have no questions.
In the agenda, there is a notice to proceed for this project, so we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, we need to hire a company. We request proposals and
So this recommendation be for the construction inspection part?
construction inspection services.
Okay. No other questions or comments?
No.
There being no other questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve with Garcia Consulting for the construction inspection for the Broadway Street reconstruction.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, and next we have supplemental to the Columbus Roundabout project.
Yeah, this is a supplemental for professional engineering services. The north side of the proposed roundabout,
Bless you.
it's an area that it's in bad shape. We would like to resurface that area, but there's some drainage issues. This contract is for the total amount not to exceed of $24,000. Garcia Consulting, they designed the roundabout, so they are very familiar with that area. So this will help to do some investigation and do some surveying and try to present a solution to fix those drainage issues in that area. And this is a supplemental to a contract that was already approved by the board.
Okay. Any further questions or comments?
No.
There being no further questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion for approval of supplemental agreement to the Columbus Drive Roundabout project with Garcia Consulting for an amount of $24,000.
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes.
Okay, next we have Columbus Roundabout Construction Project, construction inspection with also Garcia Consulting.
Yeah, Garcia also will request proposal for this service, and they were the lowest, but also they're qualified to do this work. So they are familiar with the project. They designed the project. This is a proposal to provide construction observation services for the roundabout project. The total amount it's $72,000 plus another $12,000 for geotechnical services. So we'll be for a total of $84,000.
Any other questions or comments?
Nope.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion for approval of the Columbus Drive Roundabout Construction Project, construction inspection with Garcia Construction for the amount of $84,000.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez?
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez?
Yes.
Carla Morgan?
Yes.
Next, we have with LPA Consulting Contract for 129th and Dickey Road intersection improvement.
This is another contract for professional engineering services. This is a future roundabout, hopefully, but it's a project that Garcia was hired by BP time ago to do some preliminary engineering in that section. This is a contract. I think there's an agreement that was signed by the mayor and BP, or BP is going to pay for the engineering services, and this is a contract that authorized Garcia to continue with the design of this, hopefully roundabout, in that location, 129 Dickey Road, and for the total amount of $175,000. In order for BP to transfer money to the city, they're requesting to sign this contract, and so they can send a check to the city. And the contract, it's the same template that INDOT used for their project. So just in case INDOT want a copy of it, because we're going to use federal money for construction. So the big contract, Appendix D, you can see a breakdown. Basically the preliminary engineering, final design, bidding and negotiation with the amount.
These amounts BP is paying for the project, are we doing it, are we paying and then they reimburse us, or they're going to give us the funds directly?
No, they're gonna give us a fund directly. So, but they want a contract.
This agreement?
This agreement has to be signed by this board. They're not willing to send any money until they get this.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
No.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the local public agency consulting contract for the 129th and Dickey Road intersection improvements.
So
This
move. Is that, you done with the motion? No, you're gonna mention the amount?
I was just going to add, is this with Garcia and BP, or?
No, this is between the city.
City and BP?
Garcia Consulting. So there's.
Not BP, though?
BP will gonna pay, but it's our street, So the contract is between the
The city,
consultant and the
okay.
city.
So I'll add to my motion, to my recommendation of motion between the City of East Chicago and Garcia Consulting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So are you,
Can you repeat the motion? Just make sure that.
I was trying to avoid it, but. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the LP Consulting contract between the City of East Chicago and Garcia Consulting Engineers for the 129th and Dickey Road intersection improvement project.
So move.
second?
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, that brings us to change orders 2 and 3 for the 145th Street reconstruction project with Hassey Construction.
Change order number 2 is related with pay items that were not included on the contract, especially for water main fittings. This change order, it was discussed also with the mayor, between the contractor, his engineer, and the mayor's office. So we went through all the items, and it was decided that the contractor deserved to get paid for those fittings that were not included on the pay items when we bid the project. There 15 items total. There's a letter from the contractor, the price, unit price, the total amount of this change order is $36,916.
And this is just for change order 2, right?
Yeah, I believe we already approved change order number 1, yeah.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments?
No.
There being no other questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve change order number 2 for the 145th Street reconstruction project with Hassey Construction in the amount of $36,916.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, now change order number 3 with the 145th Street reconstruction project.
Change order number 3, it's a cost that was incurred by contractor. It has a construction, it's part of the job. It was you have to tie in the water main. So when they were ready to do that work, they called the water department. They were not able to shut down the existing water system, so they have to do the work. The work was delayed, so this is just a time and material cost for that kind of work. So the change order was reviewed by NIS Engineering. They're doing data inspection, and they're recommending to pay contractor for this work.
Is it amount of $7,042.15?
Yes.
Okay.
The water main shut down and tie-in issues.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion we approve change order number 3 for the 145th Street reconstruction project with Hassey Construction for the amount of $7,042.15.
So move.
Second?
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, now we have change order, next on agenda, we have change order number 1 for Group 2 JM demolition of vacant properties, Phase 1.
Good evening, James Patana, Dean, Building Department. And for the first one, for this is in reference to 3803 Pulaski. Upon doing the demolition, a 12 by 3 underground storage tank was found by JM Industrial Services. You should have in your packet a copy of Harbor Group's incorporated report. As far as the contents, it was fuel oil. So part of this proposal is for the removal of that petroleum liquid and the tank itself. Also, in the same site at 3803 Pulaski, 50 cubic yards of concrete foundation and footing was walls and footing was found coming from the adjacent property at 3801. JM also is proposing to excavate and haul and remove the 50 cubic yards of concrete foundation, walls, and footings. The total amount of the proposal for the change order is $10,500, and I'm requesting that be that you can accept that. The fees and everything would be included as well as far as the permits fees.
So again, the total for this is $10,500.
For both jobs.
Yeah, actually, it's 20% of the total amount.
It's exactly 20%.
20% is $10,517.
So it's under by $17.
And actually, it was a little bit higher than 20%, and the contractor was willing to reduce the price in order to not have to.
That is correct.
It was reviewed also by our consultant Dragon. This is more like environmental thing. So, and he was okay with the price. So
When-
that way we won't have to get 3 quotes and delay the.
And so when we say this is 20% of the, well, just short of 20%, that's for the whole group? It would throw the whole,
Or just for the, no, not for,
no.
3803 is a part of Group 2, and it's for the both, for
The whole
removal
group,
of the
because
tank
we have
and for the,
five.
for the foundation.
okay.
And
here-
concrete
that's-
Just for
There are 5
one.
different groups, so even that's just one property, we had to take it as a whole. So it's actually a little bit less than 20%.
Yeah, so, and I think Jesse answered, but just to clarify, if the whole group was, I guess what, 50-something thousand, I say it was 55,000, and this is 20% of that. If we had any other change for any property that's above $17, we have to rebid all those.
We have, yes,
We have to
they are
rebid
aware of that.
That was my,
So in other words, you can't have any more change orders.
no more problems. over
And
there.
I think
That, is that what group? Is number 2 or number 3? Number 2?
This is group 2.
I think they're almost done with that group. So I think they have done pretty much everything except that property. I don't have my notes with me, but yeah, for any future change order in that group, we need to get 3 quotes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
No.
Okay, there being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve change order number 1 with J&M for the demolition of vacant properties under Phase 1 for the amount of $10,500 for the address of 3803 Pulaski for the tank removal and additional concrete removal.
For Group 2. Make sure that it's
Just for group 2.
Just, okay, just for group 2,
part of group 2.
and that's with J&M, right?
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, now we come to change order number 1 for Group 3. This is with Acton for demolition of vacant properties, Phase 1.
Okay. This property here, 4023 Ivy, the environmental report asbestos inspection could not be performed prior to demolition due to the unsafe condition of the building. The licensed asbestos inspector was on site during demolition. When the building was approximately 90% demolished, it was asbestos was discovered. So this that would mean that now all the material there must be disposed as of asbestos-containing material. So this is also a change order for the amount of $5,400. And I would ask the board to also accept this change order.
What was the address on this one?
4023 Ivy.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Having no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve change order number 1 with Group 3 of Acton for demolition of vacant properties, Phase 1, for an amount of, what was that amount again?
5,400.
$5,400 at 4023 Ivy.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have our bid recommendation for the Runabout Construction Project.
Yeah, it's a recommendation from Garcia. They were the engineer in this project. They reviewed the bids. The lowest bid was $1,183,746.37, and the worker tier was $1,165,560.67. The lowest bidder was Reed and Riley Construction. So they're making a recommendation. Apparently, they're the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, and they comply with city requirements, ordinances. They comply with the minimum.
The bid recommendation from Garcia Consulting is with Rick Riley. That's the recommendation? That's
Yes.
the one, for $1,183,746.37.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Now I'll take a motion that we approve the bid recommendation for the Runabout Construction Project with Rick Riley Construction Company for the amount of $1,183,746.37.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have notice to proceed with Lakefront Phase 1 project and execute contract.
I don't know if you remember, but we awarded the project last week, this project, and this is formality. After we award, we issue notice to proceed, where we're telling the contractor, from now you can start anytime, as long as you provide the information, payment and performance bonds. We received the payment and performance bond insurance, so the next step will be, actually, we already coordinated a pre-construction meeting for next week. After that, they're good to, they're good to go to start the project. They will have to provide 3 copies of the construction schedule during that meeting. And also, you can see the contract, they signed the contract, and now the board needs to sign this contract.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
No.
I'll take a motion that we approve the notice to proceed for Lakefront Phase 1 project and execute the contract.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have another notice to proceed for the Broadway reconstruction project and execute contract.
We already awarded the project, and this is the same formality. Now they have to sign a contract. They already signed the contract, and now it's time for us to sign the contract.
Also issued the notice to proceed, so we're trying to, right now in the process to coordinate a pre-construction meeting with the contractor and the city and utilities, all utility companies, so. Is there any question?
No questions or comments?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, there being no question or comments, then I'll entertain a motion that we approve notice to proceed for the Broadway reconstruction project and execute the contract.
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez. Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, next we come to our right-of-way applications from Engineering Department.
The first application number is 14-02214. It's a driveway, description, location 4844 Northcutt Avenue. I want to include this in this package, but I would like to call for both. I don't recommend this driveway. The house has a garage that was converted to an apartment. Typically, we don't allow driveways when they have a garage. But I didn't want to, just say no. I'm not going to authorize this. It's the board who has to vote on this. But yeah, I would like to call for a vote for this particular application.
You want the board to reject this one?
That's my recommendation.
Okay. Let's make a,
I didn't want to deny it's the board who has to deny, not the city
can I
engineer.
have that reason again? The reason is because there's an apartment building in there?
They have a garage. It was converted, now it's an apartment, but even if you drive by the alley, you can see the garage door in the back. So,
Is the,
not sure they got the permit and not. Yeah, at least I'm not gonna recommend a driveway in this house. So maybe we can talk about that after the meeting, if it's legal or not, but at least it's my recommendation not to approve this request.
Okay, then, based on the recommendation of our city engineer, I'd like to make a motion that we reject permit application number 14-02214.
so moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes.
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, so next, it's a 14-02215. It's a permitted driveway, location 3915 Perch Avenue. Description, there is never parking and many handicap sign on my block. But also this house has no garage, so I don't see why they can't have a driveway.
Okay.
But next one, 14-02216, it's a dumpster permit, location 514 Emmeline Place. 14-02217, it's dumpster permit, location 3601 Grand Boulevard, description 30-yard dumpster. 14-02218, utility permit, location 3832 Carey Street, fill 3 small holes with asphalt. 14-02219, utility permit, location, various location. Use a public right-of-way for demolition equipment and personnel at the following locations: 4202 Todd, 4744 Todd, 4902 Todd, 4911 Todd, and 4912 Todd. 14-0220, utility permit, location 1402 East Chicago Avenue. Install new CATV cable between the existing utility pole located in the each right-of-way of Ivy and at the building. All CAT cable will be installed on the ground by directional boring. Submit the application to NDOT. 14-02221, heavy load permit, construction equipment to work
derailment for the steel mills and Union and Harbor Bell Railroad. And the last application, 14-02222, it's a heavy load permit, hauling via 129 Dickey Road, Michigan Rock, and SR 912.
Okay, any questions or comments on these?
Nope.
There being no questions or comments, I entertain a motion that we approve City of Chicago Board of Public Works permit applications 14-022145 through 14-02222.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes our new business. Is there any old business?
No.
Any other business? No? There being no further business, our next regular meeting is Wednesday, July 9th, 2014 at 4:30 PM. This concludes the business for this meeting. I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Val Gomez.
Yes?
Jezreel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Carla Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. How far over are we?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to the second meeting, June meeting of the East Chicago Board of Public Safety. If we could stand to state our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, our roll call.
Richard Morrisroe.
Present.
Thomas Davis.
Present.
Richard Tremzinski.
Present.
We have two sets of meetings. We can deal with them together, I believe. The May 28th minutes and also the June 11th minutes. If there are any questions, please state them. If do you have any questions?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the minutes of the May 28th, 2014 and the June 11th, 2014 meetings.
I second that.
Motion made by Richard Tremzinski, seconded by Thomas Davis. May we have roll call?
Richard Morrisroe.
Accept.
Thomas Davis.
Accept.
Richard Tremzinski.
Accept.
Do we have any correspondence, Madam Secretary?
We do not.
Madam Secretary, I would like to add one point to the agenda. Report and requests from our fire department from Deputy Chief Carlos Oburto. Would you step forward, Chief Oburto, and give us that report?
Thank you, and good evening, members of the board. Earlier this month, I came before you and gave you a recommendation of 6 names contingent upon a favorable examination of their polygraph. After such a review, we are asking for 4 of the 6 names to be removed from consideration to be hired on to our department.
And your rationale for doing that as to whom you've consulted with and before we enter our own opinion and discussion?
That is correct. We have, Chief Perez and myself reviewed it thoroughly, and we just felt that they felt a little short of our standards, and we want to move forward with the best possible candidates that we can possibly provide for the city.
And so you had the polygraph consultants report. Were there any other consultants that you had an opportunity to speak with about these matters?
I do believe the chief, I don't want to speak for the chief, but I do believe Chief Perez did consult with various people in many different agencies to try and come up with this decision. It was not done lightly. I don't have the particular people that he spoke to.
He had spoken to me about the police department, some of its officials, and also with the attorney for the Fire Civil Service Commission.
That is correct. He did speak to both of those agencies to try and get direction on this matter.
Now, Mr. Perez was anxious. Council, we had conversation about this earlier, did we not?
Certainly.
And it was decided that each board member would have a separate opportunity to review these polygraph records.
That's correct.
And at least in my case, and we'll ask the other two, I chose to review them without the name of the candidate, but simply the data that was there in what were approximately 4- and 5-page reports of discussions between the polygraph examiner and the candidates. Was that your experience, Mr. Tremzinski?
Yeah, no names. Just
Without
reports.
names, and your
No names.
Mr. Davis. And so we're going to refer to those as candidates 1 through 6 and ask you which candidates, my understanding is that candidates 2 and 6 are to proceed to hire.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman, and we are requesting that candidates number 1, 3, 4, and 5 be removed from eligibility to be on the fire department.
Well, I would like to give each of my peers an opportunity to give their impression of the polygraph records. Mr. Tremzinski, what was your impression as in reading and going over those reports? And your experience as a firefighter for many, many years?
You got to be honest, I guess, and it pays to be in the service, I believe, right out of high school. But that would be it.
And so you felt there was substantial reason for those 4 not being...
Yeah, I agree with the chief on those 4, yes.
Mr. Davis, would you care to add anything
Yes.
in light of your years of experience in public service?
Yes, I read all 6 of those, and I would agree those 4, that just wasn't up to par, is what I know about polygraph and that. And it would be to their advantage, the community advantage, to have those removed. That's my opinion.
And that was also my reading. We discussed this independently, and I had a couple of minor questions about one of the 4, but the other 3 were very clearly fell short of the standards that we would expect in terms of honesty, sexual relationships, use of drugs, and other kinds of characteristics that would make them a serious problem, I feel, for the city of East Chicago, for its fire department. So I'll entertain a motion that we reject numbers 1, 3, 4, and 5.
I second.
We entertain a roll call vote on that.
Richard Morrisroe,
Reject?
Thomas Davis,
Reject.
Richard Morrisroe.
Reject.
I'll reject too.
And Richard
Richard
Tremzinski.
Krasinski rejects.
Do we ask Richard Tremzinski as well?
Richard Tremzinski.
Reject.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you, gentlemen, for your diligence in trying to get this right.
It's not an easy decision, and my understanding is that henceforward, these tests will be administered prior to a recommendation. It seemed to make sense. They seemed to talk well, but upon closer examination, had some serious flaws.
Yeah, that's our intention, to put it at front of everything, so that's what we'll be doing. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. Portalatin, Deputy Building Commissioner at large with the legal staff and boxes of stuff. Please come forward.
I'm James.
Good evening.
James Portalatin. I will allow the attorney to, be able to speak up on behalf of the properties. I will be here as well for any questions that are.
And I believe we had asked briefly that the people who have come tonight have an opportunity to be, to attend to their needs first before we go further.
That's right, I think that-
Mr. Smith, if you'd like to,
Sure.
to speak.
Good evening to the board.
Good evening, Mr. Smith.
And Olga. I think the first people we have are 3844 Guthrie, which is the Kathy's Diner property. And I'm happy to report that the rehabilitation agreement has been entered between the owners and the building department and has been approved by the board. And so what we're going to do is simply ask that the board allow this to be set for another status down the road so that the board can be kept apprised as to the work that's being done by the owners.
what kind of time would you be asking for?
September 10th.
You live with that?
Okay.
It's 2.5 months. I think we- Yeah. Now, are you planning on coming back? And you know that usually the first meeting of the month is police and fire, but in other words, would you be coming that, try to come that first?
Yeah, we could, because there would really only be a couple properties. We're going to try to keep it just a couple.
Okay, and that may be done through the commissioner then, in others, it may not require your special attendance.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Mr. Morris, if progress is being made, there's no reason to drag them back out here again. If progress is being made, progress is being made.
And let's simply note that for the record, that if James or Commissioner Guzman feel things are going along, then they'll simply notify you by phone that you needn't come, and you'll only be here in the event that there's some problem.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your attendance.
And
that date you have, that for the next, the September 10th. Very good.
the next people that are here this evening are the Naharas, Alex and Petra. They're here. And
Please come forward.
This is an add-on at the request of the commissioner for 3731 Ivy. And I'd like to, if I could approach and present to the board for approval the agreement to rehabilitate, which has been signed by the owners of the property.
I think we did receive, let's see if we received signed or unsigned copies. We received signed copies, and we are to execute on this date, this copy.
And that
But
would be our request.
The Naharas have, come on forward, welcome. We're happy for you that you're going to rehabilitate the property. Join them in the front, al micrófono, para que sienten cómodo.
Okay.
So, now you've bought this home, have you been living there or hope to live there?
I want to live in right there.
They don't live there now.
I don't live in right there.
Okay, that's fine. And so we will execute this agreement. Which copy should we execute?
Copy. I have the original.
We would like to, if you could sign that for the Naharas, that'd be.
No, we'll do that with the, do you have it with you?
Yes.
Yeah, we have that, we'll execute that now.
Okay, great.
We took their copy for.
Here, why don't we?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're anxious to get this done, not to,
That's right. And again, this would also be set for a status at that September 10th date.
esta fecha pueden vivir con de 11 de septiembre, 10 de septiembre. So, para regresar y hacer un informe de lo que han hecho,
Okay. Thank you.
que estamos progresando.
Okay, thank you.
Sí.
This then will stay with the, with our records, or,
Requested it be either file stamped or otherwise made of record.
Olga, that should not be a problem, correct? No.
Thank you.
Do we have a file stamp? And you'll be the attest then.
All right.
Good.
And that concludes the people that are present here today for hearings, and so we can hopefully move through the other ones rather quickly. I'd like to give the board a status on several properties.
Which list are, we have a number of different lists. We have one that begins with
That
531
would be
West
the one.
Columbus.
That's correct.
And on that, there are about 10, 12, 15 properties.
Yeah, hopefully not that many, but
We'd
several.
like to make, our secretary reminds us to make a motion to approve. Would someone make the motion to approve? Then he had a contract that we just executed.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
And second.
Roll call?
Richard Morrisroe,
Approve.
Thomas Davis,
Approve.
Richard Chemzinski.
Approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, for bringing that to our attention. Continue.
All right, 531 West Columbus, this is a commercial property. You may recall we were here on April 9th.
I very much recall Miss Daisy.
I think 530, yes, exactly. And as to 531 West Columbus, the board entered the order and affirmed the order for demolition. There was an indication that we would set it over for status in May. Then again, here today, there's been no progress, and we are here to advise the board that this was one of the properties that was up for bid this
Now, you're
afternoon.
aware that a document was sent downstate, but apparently it fell short of what was required. Unless they move quickly, the young man who authored that, I don't think is yet a licensed architect or engineer in Indiana, and he was trying to work with some Illinois person and who was supposed to have been licensed in Illinois, and apparently it never quite got done. I don't know whether Daisy was misled or what had happened.
The State Fire Marshal didn't approve the plans. The building commissioner is asking to move forward and lift the stay. The property has been bid at the 4:30 meeting. As soon as bids are awarded, we would ask that the building department issue permits and demolish the property.
So the request tonight is to lift the stay.
I will entertain that, but I ask that you please give notice and let them, if they move in an expedited manner and try to correct what they've done, the owner at least seemed to be acting in good faith. Whether or not she knew what she was doing is a question, and whether or not she was misled by the people who she was relying on to remedy her situation.
So if the board acts to lift the stay, we will give notice to the property owner.
Mr. Portalatin, will you notice this for us? In other words, we don't want you to move quickly on it.
Mr. President, was she given notice of the meeting today?
Yes, absolutely.
She was given notice of the meeting today.
I think the notice was verbal notice from the last meeting.
Previous meeting, I believe so.
From my office, we'll send a letter out to her indicating what the action of the board was this evening as well.
ASAP, and letting her know that what was sent downstate didn't do the job. I mean, I could see it from I could see it when it was brought to me before we got the denial of release notice from the state.
We'll definitely send her notice.
Would entertain a motion then to lift the stay.
I so move.
I second the motion.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Vote to lift.
Thomas Davis,
Lift.
Richard Chemzinski.
Vote to lift.
Next item is 1811 Broadway. This was, again, the board issued a demolition order, which was affirmed back on April 9th. There was an attorney here from Bank of America, as you may recall, who indicated that she wanted some time to take a look at the property. I hate to say it, but as expected, nothing's happened. And here we are in June. I would also mention to the board that this is a great example of why, when these are initially before the board, we ask the board to enter the order and to allow us to move forward with bidding, because here we are. And this property was also a part of the bidding process this afternoon. So now we can report to the board that nothing's happened, that the bank has done nothing, and it allows the building commissioner then to, as part of the bid award, when it does, I'm sorry, it would have been the Board of Works, when they award the bids for the demolition, it allows a quick demolition of this property instead of kind of resetting it at this point.
Will you honor Ms. Kuhn's job and send her some kind of notice so that she can respond to and
we will let them know that
cover her posterior in a way that is professional?
We'll make the same motion as the last property to lift the stay and send a letter to the owner of the stay being lifted, or to the bank representative.
Motion?
I so move.
I second the motion.
Roll call?
Richard Morrisroe.
Lift.
Thomas Davis.
Lift.
Richard Chemzinski.
Lift.
President, the next matter is 1815 Broadway. This is very similar to the last one in that there was a representative of the owner that appeared, was going to contact the city regarding a donation. Nothing's happened since that time in April. This was also part of the bid process this afternoon at the Board of Works. We would request that the stay be lifted. We will provide notice to the owner.
My recollection is that Mr. Noda knew they were going to lose the properties. He was looking for something that might help for tax purposes or whatever, rather than to preserve the property. Is that your recollection?
It is, and I'm sure if the city, if he would contact the city, the city would be interested in donation, but of course the city also wants the structures down. So if he, if we will let him know in the notice that the city's interested in if he's interested in donating the property, he just needs to contact.
Would that be yourselves, the contact? If
Either way, I mean, we'll make sure to list Ms. Guzman as well and as a contact, and we've been dealing with redevelopment department mostly with donations, so we'll make sure to let Ms. Becerra and everybody else over there know as well. If we get contacted, that's what we usually do.
Entertain a motion to lift the stay.
I make the motion to lift.
Second.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe.
Lift.
Thomas Davis.
Lift.
Richard Chemzinski.
Lift.
Mr. President, 3902 Grand, the board's well aware of Ms. Powell's property. I'm happy to report that there were some permits issued in late April for the roof. Progress is being made slowly, and the recommendation is to ask for a September 10th status date.
Mr. Portalatin, do you have any knowledge of what's going on with that property?
The only repair that has been done has been to a section of the roof and the rafters and tear off new sheeting and new shingles on that.
And that was done within the last 6 or 8 weeks?
April 27th.
The permit was...
Since we were here last?
Correct.
Okay,
Between April 9th and the present, she's done a roof.
fine.
Working on the roof.
Continue.
September 10th, yes. 3550 to 56 Guthrie. I just actually had some email correspondence with Mr. Austin today, and he's indicated that he's had some good communication with Ms. Becerra, and they're working out a purchase agreement between them and the Redevelopment Commission, and I let him know that we would continue it to July 23rd to hopefully report to the board that the property has been acquired by the city, redevelopment.
Do you know what, is that been vacant or been used? Or
It's
what?
not in terrible shape. It's vacant. It's a funeral home.
Okay, I'm aware of it through that, formerly the Allen Funeral Home.
Correct.
And the Austins bought it, or do you know
I
what?
believe they acquired it at tax sale.
Is this the same Austin family of Griffith that had the
Yes.
tragic death?
Yes?
Was the mother who died the manager of that company largely, or?
I understand that to be the case, that she was very heavily involved in their family business. But I can tell you that the kids are very, they understand the business very well and seem to be doing fine as far as that's concerned.
Are they any kin to the notorious lawyers in Crown Point?
That I do not know.
I think they're spelled the same. They've been very helpful to us on a number of occasions for Planning Commission matters. Thank you. Continue.
Yes, 3843 Guthrie will be removed from the demolition list because between last meeting and today, the property has, as reported by the owners that were here, has been donated to the city through deed. And so that will be removed.
Donated to the city, but will or will not be demolished?
It will be demolished, yes, but there's no reason for the board to monitor it any longer.
I understand. So it's being demolished, but apart from our action?
That's correct. It will. The Unsafe Building Act action is really irrelevant at this point since the city now owns the property. 3844 Guthrie, we already discussed. It was here before you. 3940 Cary. The board has approved the rehabilitation, or I think the board needs to approve the rehabilitation agreement. James, is that right?
It may be in our package.
Yeah, hopefully it's in your packet.
3940 Cary was approved and permits have been issued, actually.
The rehab agreement has been approved?
I
Okay,
don't-
so
I
we're
don't-
good.
We may have done it, we may have executed it prior.
Previously, and permits have been acquired, and they're in the process of preparing the...
So we would ask for that September 10th date, Mr. President, and then that concludes our list. Thank you for your indulgence.
Now, the other, the 3844 Guthrie is,
That was when that the
ladies were-
ladies were here.
gotcha.
Yep.
Ah, yes.
July 9th, we have a bunch, so come ready. July
Okay,
9th. Thank you.
thank you.
Well, hopefully you've also contacted the Board of Works and asked them to get their business done on time.
Hope they have a less,
Onerous agenda.
We just have a large agenda.
And that's it for you and for James?
I think James is still up, right? No, he's good. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else you'd like us to do?
James does.
I think you have listed our 28 properties there as well. The 2013-14 demolition list is along with your package, and
Is that the Phase 2 package?
yeah, so and different properties that are going to be demolished as well there for the bid notice as for 2014 are also there.
Do you want us to do anything about it, or simply
No,
you want to
that's
bring it
just
to our
as-
attention?
Just to bring it to your attention. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jay.
Any other business before us? Madam Secretary?
No, there is not.
Recommend we meet again on July 9th at 5:30 PM. And you'll cut short the Board of Works agenda so that that can happen.
Yes, I will try.
Entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
Roll call.
Richard Morrisroe,
Adjourn.
Thomas Davis,
Adjourn.
Richard Chumzinski.
Adjournment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your presence and your attention, and look forward to seeing you on the 9th of July.